Chapter 1779 Various Countries Chat Group. Jiang E joined a new group, and at first he didn't find it particularly strange. After all, Fremons couldn't just ask their family to help. But soon, he noticed the subtle changes in the situation. There are already more than 10 forces from various countries in the group. If the alien teams of these forces all enter Fremons, they will form a vague competitive relationship with Jiang E. Yes, it is a competitive relationship. Nowadays, the situation in Fremons has changed. At first, they came here to help solve the crisis, but when Jiang E and Fremons discovered at the same time that mechanical civilization also contained huge opportunities, they not only had to save Fremons, but also had to compete for these precious resources. Jiang E's mouth curled up with a sneer, knowing that this must be the intention of the Fremons senior management represented by Boda. Sure enough, after entering the group, Jiang E saw the people from the Temple of the Gods began to speak. This is a parliamentary group. Everyone appears in the conference hall in the form of virtual images, but everyone basically chooses to cover their appearance, and only a black shadow can be seen. They were not friends, so there was no need to reveal their appearances. In the face of the power of the law of cause and effect, appearance and real name were both important factors. The Lord of the Pantheon, Winter Goddess Morana, did not speak, but Boda, who represented the official administrative agency, began to speak as the host. Boda, everyone who came here is willing to come to Fremons to help us deal with the mechanical civilization. I would like to express my gratitude to you first. Boda did not choose to hide his face. After all, everyone was familiar with him. He opened his arms and smiled as he glanced in the direction of Jiang E, which made Jiang E sneer in his heart, and he probably guessed what this guy was going to do. Sure enough, Boda said to everyone, "At present, only the alien team of Huashu country has arrived in Fremons. And I can tell you very clearly that they have gained huge benefits in the confrontation with the mechanical civilization." In the picture, he showed a part of the image of the mechanical army and the energy core of the mechanical civilization they had obtained. After our hard work, we have obtained a super technological product that has surpassed human civilization for hundreds of years from the captured mechanical life forms. The energy core in the picture is similar to the energy core of the super-large mechanical life form obtained by Jiang E, but it is much smaller, only the size of a fist. It should be the energy core of a secondary mechanical life form, but it is much stronger than the one on the mass-produced fuselage. The silver-gray material is seamless, and there is no trace of industry. It is inlaid with crimson stones, and a mysterious light appears in everyone's eyes as the gems in the picture rotate. When it appears, anyone with a discerning eye can immediately see its extraordinariness. This is a very powerful and advanced civilization. Boda shouted excitedly. Their civilization has surpassed ours for several generations. If we can get their technology, it will surely enable human technology to rapidly improve. He pointed to Jiang E again and said, "Friends in Huashu country can also prove this. Just now, they defeated an army with tens of thousands of mechanical life forms. They obtained a large number of advanced robots and their energy cores." Boda's words drew everyone's attention to Jiang E. How could Jiang E not understand what he was thinking at this time? It was nothing more than Jiang E disagreeing to give the lion's share to Fremons, so the Fremons executives represented by Boda were unwilling to see Jiang E's family dominate, so they chose the strategy of driving the tiger to swallow the wolf. Good plan. Jiang E sneered in his heart. He had no opinion on Boda's approach. People are selfish and only consider problems from their own perspective. From his own perspective, Jiang E also understood Boda. However, understanding is understanding, and he had no reason to consider the problem from Boda's perspective. So, in his opinion, this was an offense to himself, especially when he came to help them resolve the crisis. At this time, on the side of Boda, Emperor Shirtian asked leisurely, "Chaos, you have gained a lot. Can you share the images of the battle with us, and let us know the information about the mechanical life forms, so that it will be convenient to deal with them later?" There was also a grudge between Emperor Shirtian and Jiang E. Although Jiang E himself did not remember that he had fought with Emperor Shirtian, Emperor Shirtian remembered it clearly. Jiang E killed him 6 times. If it weren't for the ability of the 7 Treasures Golden Stage, which allowed him to rotate 7 times on one person, he would have really died in Jiang Yi's hands. Therefore, compared to Jiang Yi's complete ignorance, he had a great resentment toward Jiang E. However, Jiang E also knew that no one in Boda would have a good impression of him. The fact that he had entered Boda's territory, killed the Ikshas and Maharaga among the 8 tribes, and looted the holy Jagannath temple in Boda was enough to make the entire Boda people gnash their teeth when their name was mentioned. Now that he heard Emperor Shirtian's request, he sneered in his heart. However, at this time there were other people who helped out. Well, since the Huaxi country team took the lead in fighting with a mechanical civilization, they must know their specific situation. Now that we humans are in the same camp, it is only right that we share information with each other. After all, everything is for human civilization. Such voices kept coming, but Jiang E never accepted others' moral kidnapping. But in front of him, Emperor Shirtian put him up with one sentence. He was not afraid of the aliens from other countries, but there was no need to make them feel bad about him. So Jiang E sneered, but said in a friendly tone, "Of course, as a member of the human family, I should contribute to the cause of fighting against mechanical civilization. It's just that many of our battle scenes involve personal privacy. I will hide that part of the scene later and share it with you." There is nothing wrong with what Jiang E said. Top aliens pay great attention to protecting their privacy, especially their abilities and real names. You know, if the ability is leaked, then when a battle occurs between top aliens, they may be found out and killed instantly. As for how many images will be left for them at that time, it depends on Jiang Yi's mood. Anyway, he will not let others pick the fruits in vain, and the important information will be hidden, leaving only a little scraps. Emperor Shirtian glanced at Jiang E. "Oh, in that case, there is no way to guarantee that you haven't concealed anything from us." This bastard guessed Jiang Yi's thoughts at once. Jiang E smiled and said, "Where's the trust between people? You may not know me, but ask around in Huaxi country, and everyone will say that I, Handan, am a kind person." Deng Shintong was also pulled into the channel at this time. When he heard Jiang Yi's words, the corners of his mouth twitched fiercely. Everyone was smart, and everyone knew that Jiang E could not selflessly reveal all the information, and they had no way to force Jiang E, so the topic was not continued. Only the person in the group named Jupiter asked Jiang E a question. "Mr. Handan, I have a question, and I hope you can answer it sincerely." On Jiang Yi's side, the intelligence system had already explained to him the origin of this person. He is the god of the Roman temple, god of light, Jupiter. When Jiang E met him for the first time, he saw that he was quite sincere, so he nodded and said, "Your Excellency, feel free to ask any questions you have. As for whether to answer or not, and how to answer, it all depends on the situation." Jupiter pondered for a moment, considered his words, and then asked, "Mr. Boda said just now that you defeated a legion of tens of thousands of mechanical life forms on your first day in Fremons. How many people are there in your team?" Jupiter's question made many people nod silently. The intelligence they had heard before was that Fremons was deeply troubled by the Mechanical Legion. Not only did a large number of cities fall, but even the capital, Karen City, had been lost. The reason why they were still waiting and not rushing to come was to measure how big the risk of coming to Fremons was. So, when Boda told them that Jiang Yi's team killed an entire Mechanical Legion on the first day, they were shaken in their hearts. Could it be that the so-called Mechanical Legion was not that strong? Jiang E smiled slightly. "My team is less than 100 people. All of them are elite alien warriors." Jupiter asked again, "Did you not get support from Fremons or your Huaxu army when you were fighting?" He was referring to the long-range military force attack. Jiang E shook his head. "It doesn't need to be so troublesome. It's just some steel bones and iron skins. It will be cleaned up in a few minutes." On the Fremon side, the muscles on Bodaga's face twitched a little. He was shocked to hear these words, and he also felt like he was slapped in the face. The most difficult trouble for them in Fremons, in Jiang Yi's mouth, was so easy to deal with. Where can they put their faces? However, in order to attract alien teams from other countries to come, he couldn't refute it. Look, in fact, those mechanical legions are just a little troublesome, but not that difficult to deal with. And they also have advanced mechanical technology and a large number of energy cores. Those are good things that can quickly improve the mechanical power of your country. Jupiter nodded, and the aliens from other countries were also weighing the pros and cons. I understand. Emperor Shirtian spoke slowly at this time, and he smiled and said, Mr. Bodhijia, our Boda alien troops will arrive in Fremon soon. Help you solve the crisis of mechanical civilization. Although Emperor Shirtian lost to Jiang E 6 times, he always believed that the gap between him and Jiang E was not big. And he actually has a greater advantage on the battlefield with the ability to see the future. He is a ruler who can command the overall situation instead of competing with others for temporary gains and losses. Since Jiang E was able to achieve great results on the first day in Fremons, he, Emperor Shirtian, will definitely create more brilliant results. Seeing that Emperor Shirtian had already spoken, the aliens of some other countries also expressed that they would arrive in Fremon soon. Although a small number of countries are still waiting and watching, according to the current situation, they will definitely put going to Fremons on the agenda. Bodhijia showed a satisfied smile on his face, which was exactly what he wanted. Then he looked at Jiang E with a sincere tone, but his hypocritical smile still made Jiang E feel disgusted. Mr. Chaos, your actions in the Far East have yielded great results. But forgive me, we appreciate your help, but when you come to Fremons, we still hope that you can act according to our command. After all, there will be more alien organizations from more countries coming. If there are no rules, it will create a rather chaotic situation. There is a subtext to these words. If you act on your own, it will also affect the interests of other countries. Jiang E narrowed his eyes, and after a moment he nodded. Okay. We will of course cooperate with Fremon's actions. Bodaka's eyes lit up. Then please rush to Samran City as soon as possible. Your Excellency is the world's top alien, and we need your strength to help us fight against the mechanical civilization and retake the capital, Karen City. Jiang E nodded lightly. We will rush there as soon as possible. He didn't say when he would go there. The Far East is a long way from Karen City, thousands of kilometers away. It would take several months to drive there. What? You said Jiang E can use the ability of Space Shuttle to go there? It's not that easy to activate the ability. It's better to drive there steadily. Jiang E gave face to Bodaka on the surface, but in fact he didn't care about this guy at all. Facts have proved that Fremons is not at a moment of life and death. Those mechanical civilizations destroyed their cities and killed Fremons people just for fun. Their main purpose was to dig caves. Unless Fremons really encountered an unsolvable crisis, his primary purpose of coming here would still be to collect supplies and explore the truth of the appearance of the mechanical civilization. It feels like these iron guys who have been digging holes must be digging out an extremely important secret. Later, Bodaka said some polite nonsense, but Jiang E was no longer in the mood to listen. The aliens from other countries also went offline one after another, and then prepared to embark on the journey of Fremons. They couldn't sit back and watch chaos get a big advantage alone. In times of chaos, the international situation changed suddenly, and the power of each other grew and declined. The stronger Huashu Kingdom became, the weaker they became. Without enough power, it is impossible to gain the right to dominate the world. After Jiang E went offline, he suddenly received a friend request. When he saw that person's ID, a special light flashed in Jiang E's eyes. Britannia, King Arthur, of the Knights of the Round Table.